you also came in contact with Peltarian at some point,
Yeah.
and that's also how we met. And Peltarian also do a lot of stuff, but in short, we can say that they want to make AI available for all in some way.
Yes.
And we can easily see a big problem with, primarily the big tech companies can find huge value for the customers and the services they provide by using data and AI in different ways. Mm-hmm. But also we can see that a lot of other companies fail when they try to do it, probably because of lack of competences, but also because of the tooling is too bad. And this is also in some way, and please disagree if you have a better phrasing of this, but Peltarian wants basically to provide better tooling and methods to give AI to everyone.
Yeah.
And that also means that perhaps we can think about the no-code movement, where some people don't have the skills to actually do program with the PyTorch of the world or TensorFlows of the world, and then still they could potentially start using AI somehow. What is your thinking about no-code? Do you see that as being especially useful for AI, or what's your thinking about no-code?
Yeah, so, in general, if you look at different software engineering disciplines, you can often see that there are three groups. Mm-hmm. The group of deep experts, right. People that build compilers, for instance, right? The general or generic engineers, and then people that use the technology that are not technology savvy.
Right.
And for instance,
but they can be very skilled in other areas, of course.
Yes, because you need domain knowledge, right? Yes. And one of the things that really surprised me when I worked for Intuit, I'd once heard a statistic that in the US, more than 70,000 people, I think, were earning their living building solutions on top of Microsoft Office. Yeah, so that was different Excel sheet solutions, different integrations between Word and databases. Mm-hmm. All kinds of stuff where people are not necessarily have to be deep engineers, but they can still create, using scripting or other kinds of approaches, solutions that clearly deliver value to other people. Yeah, right. And I believe that in AI, we have the same needs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where we need deep experts. Yeah. We need people that are engineers that understand AI and understand data. And then we also need a tool set for a large group of people that have the domain knowledge and that perhaps are not the TensorFlow and PyTorch experts of this world.
Yes.
Right? And in that sense, I believe very strongly that we need to have solutions like that. What those solutions should look like precisely is, I think, still a work in progress. Peltarian is one of them. There are other kinds of solutions. There are people are trying this. Yeah. I really like the Peltarian solution, but we need a range of experimentation in order to figure out what works for people. And if you go back, in the software product lines space, there was the notion of domain-specific languages, where a domain-specific language would basically hide the mass of functionality and capabilities that were stable and only expose the points of variation where different people would want to specify things. And I think that that's the experiment that is currently ongoing. How much can we hide? How much can we expose? And how can we create a conceptual model that people that are not deep AI experts or deep software engineers can use as a basic mental model to work with, use that mental model to program in a kind of a configure or it's script or whatever it is, and then still create something that generates value for them. That's where I think that we are at.
Yeah, good. I think that phrases well, and we can easily see we have a small group of people that are super deep experts in, for example, coding or in AI.
You're one of those deep experts as far as I'm concerned.
Nah, thank you, but you as well. And then we have, a 10x, 100x bigger set of people that are domain experts in other fields. Yes. If it's manufacturing, if it's finance, if it's in sales, if it's in whatever. If we could bring them tools that allow them to make use of their domain expertise, even though they don't have the technical skills, that of course opens up a big area.
Yes.
Right? So the potential is high.
Yes.
Then the question is, can we make that, or how should that be done?
Yeah.
And that's what you said. Peltorin has one approach for that, and there are other companies trying to do that as well.
And I think we're still in the learning journey of how will this work in practice. I think that's a good point.